What is Fairy Tail 2? Fairy Tail 2 is an action RPG and the follow-up to the 2020 game Fairy Tail, inspired by Hiro Mishima's popular anime and manga series. Developed and published by Koei Tecmo Games Co., Ltd. The game is scheduled for release on December 12, 2024. Players will join Team Natsu and the Fairy Tail Guild as they tackle the climactic events of the Alvarez Empire arc. Prepare to take on Emperor Zeref, his powerful Spriggan 12, and the fearsome Black Dragon, Agnologia, in a fight to save the world. Explore familiar locations in the Kingdom of Fury, like Magnolia and its surrounding areas, while interacting with classic characters, completing missions, and uncovering secrets. The game introduces a new combat system, blending turn-based mechanics with real-time action. In addition to this, a new original story called The Key to the Unknown will be playable once the campaign is finished. Fairy Tail 2 features play as Fairy Tail Guild characters, retelling of Alvarez Empire arc, entirely new combat system, larger explorable map, voice actors from the anime reprise their roles, photo mode, equipable costumes from different arcs, digital storefronts, Steam PlayStation Switch, price $59.99. Fairy Tail 2 overall score 70 to 100. Fairy Tail 2 is a mixed experience that feels like it made progress in some areas, while taking steps back in others. On one hand, the characters look fantastic, and the combat is enjoyable. However, the game is marred by several frustrating choices, including clunky, inconsistent animation. The story is poorly adapted, making it tough for newcomers to follow, and even longtime fans of the series may struggle to fully engage. Honestly, I'd recommend watching the anime instead, as it delivers the story much more effectively. Fairy Tail 2 story -7/10. The Alvarez arc is one of the most thrilling storylines in Fairy Tail, especially since it marks the conclusion of the original manga. However, the game doesn't do it justice, often feeling more like a recap than a true retelling. Many scenes are rushed, cut short, or skipped entirely, and while some cutscenes are more impactful in-game, they lack the necessary context and justification for what's happening. Fans will likely follow along, but newcomers will find it frustrating to constantly rely on the in-game glossary. While the glossary is a nice touch, a proper introduction would have been helpful. Honestly, I'd recommend experiencing the story through the manga or anime instead. Fairy Tail 2 gameplay -8/10. Fairy Tail 2 completely overhauls its combat system, shifting from the previous turn-based style to an action RPG similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake. While it may not be as engaging as its predecessor, its simplicity and flashy animations make it fun and easy to pick up. The game offers a ton of quests, though the world itself feels somewhat lifeless and barren. That said, I enjoyed controlling my favorite Fairy Tail characters, customizing their equipment, and exploring. The bonus content unlocked after completing the game is a nice touch as well. Fairy Tail 2 visuals -7/10. Natsu, Lucy, Urza, Gray, Wendy, and the rest of the guild look fantastic, especially the Spriggan 12, who are by far the standout characters in this game. I really enjoyed seeing their costumes from various arcs, which you can equip. However, the overworld feels rather bland and empty, with many low-poly textures and poor animations. The enemies, in particular, suffer from unresponsive behaviors, often appearing like dummies when hit, which detracts from the overall experience. Fairy Tail 2 audio -8/10. It's great to see the original cast reprise their roles, and they did an excellent job voicing the scenes. The OST is decent, some tracks truly capture the essence of Fairy Tail, while others feel a bit more generic. Fairy Tail 2 value for money -7/10. I'd say this game is best suited for fans who have already finished the anime, as experiencing the story through the game first would likely be a disservice. It's not particularly newcomer-friendly, and there are too many issues that really hinder the overall experience. I'd recommend waiting for a sale rather than paying the full $60. Fairy Tail 2 review. Just watch the anime. A disappointing adaptation. As a big Fairy Tail fan, I was really excited to see how they would adapt the Alvarez arc into a game, considering it's a long and story-rich conclusion to the original manga. For those who aren't familiar, this arc follows the Alvarez Empire as it prepares to launch a full-scale war on Ishgara in an effort to seize Fairy Tail's secret artifact. Natsu and the guild members must embark on a perilous journey to stop the conflict before it begins. Sounds exciting, right? Unfortunately, the game doesn't quite do the arc justice. Before diving into why, it's important to understand the gameplay, as even a poorly adapted story could still be redeemed by strong gameplay. Gameplay overview. Fairy Tail 2 introduces a new real-time action RPG combat system. Moving away from the turn-based mechanics of the first game, players can take control of guild members like Natsu, Lucy, and other members from the Fairy Tail Guild, utilizing character-specific mode changes to activate unique abilities during battles. The system includes features such as unison raids, which allow allies to combine their powers for joint attacks, and extreme magic abilities, which are charged for more impactful moves. This new combat approach aims to replicate the fast-paced magic battles seen in the anime and manga. When the break gauge is completely drained, the enemy enters a break state. During this time, they will be unable to act, and all your attacks will become critical hits. Strike before the break ends to land devastating damage. Depleting an enemy's break gauge opens the opportunity to trigger a link attack. This allows you to team up with other characters, like Erza and Lucy, to unleash a powerful combined strike. There are various link attacks you can experiment with, each bringing different effects and powerful results. Magic Origins is the skill tree system, where you can unlock new magic abilities and enhance your character's stats and powers, making your magical attacks even stronger. Various characters from the Fairy Tail Guild can serve as support characters, functioning like summons in the game. These supports unleash potent magic abilities to assist you in battle. Simple but fun combat. I actually enjoyed the original turn-based combat system from the first Fairy Tail game. The new system, while relatively simple, is pretty fun and features plenty of flashy animations. I particularly like the ability to switch between characters on the fly to unleash devastating attacks. The difficulty wasn't anything to write home about, as the enemies never really posed a significant challenge. But the combat did a great job of capturing the essence of each character. For example, Natsu's explosive fire attacks feel true to his fiery personality. Wendy excels at support and healing, and Lucy's celestial keys and magic bring her summoning abilities to life. The game also lets you experiment with different party combinations, as there are so many characters to unlock and mix into your team of 4. While the gameplay can get a bit repetitive at times, the wide variety of characters helps keep things fresh. Tons of fan service. Speaking of characters, there's a lot to appreciate. Not only can you unlock a variety of guild members, but you can also interact with them and unlock costumes from different arcs. The character models are well done and bring these fan favorites to life in a way that fans will appreciate. There are plenty of nods and callbacks to the series that longtime fans will enjoy. Additionally, for those who are into it, the game does include a fair amount of fan service, with certain character designs being emphasized in a way that some players may find appealing. I'm also glad that the voice actors reprise their roles as they do an incredible job of revoicing particular scenes and fights. One exciting addition is the unlockable story mode, the Key to the Unknown, which becomes available after completing the Alvarez arc. This mode picks up after the final battle and serves as a fun, fan service-filled bonus. While it doesn't have anything groundbreaking, it's a delightful extra for longtime fans of the series. Alvarez arc is butchered, unfortunately. This is where the positives end. The story is a disappointing adaptation of the manga, feeling more like a rushed recap than a proper retelling. For those unfamiliar with the arc, it fails to capture the depth and emotional impact of the original narrative, which is a compelling tale of love and war centered around Zeref. While there are some solid action sequences, the game doesn't give enough time to explore the characters or deliver the emotional payoffs that made the manga and anime so memorable. Key moments feel rushed, and many characters don't receive the spotlight they deserve. A lifeless, boring world. It's surprising that the vibrant and imaginative world of Earthland from Fairy Tail could feel dull, but this game manages to make its overworld feel lifeless and outdated. While it's commendable that more areas are available to explore compared to the previous game, many of these locations lack NPCs or any sense of activity, leaving them feeling empty. The low poly textures and bland designs further detract from the experience. Unfortunately, even the quests fail to inject excitement, often feeling repetitive and uninspired. Adding to the sense of lifelessness are the NPCs and especially the enemies. It's frustrating how enemies barely react to your attacks, making them feel static and unengaging. This lack of responsiveness undermines what could have been an otherwise enjoyable and straightforward combat system, making battles feel repetitive and uninspired. Is Fairy Tail 2 worth it? Even fans should wait for a sale. As a Fairy Tail fan, I'd recommend waiting for a sale before purchasing this game, as the $60 price tag doesn't quite justify the experience. Even with the addition of a new storyline, For newcomers, it's better to dive into the manga or anime, which deliver the story far more effectively.